I have a quote here from you. It says, before I got my first job in the industry, my life was spiraling downhill fast. The story involves a cocaine dealer, 2 motorcycles, a stolen car, a femme fatale whose father threatened to kill me, and an abandoned New Testament.
Yeah,
right? And you should, and some of the images too, like, you know.
Well, what can you say? It was a crazy time in my life, but it's just like any kid is like. My parents brought me up in the church, and it was sort of conservative and everything, and I just rebelled, sort of ran away from it, and I just didn't want to have anything to do with that, really. It's like, it's cramping my style, I didn't want to be a Bible thumper or anything like that. That was really terrible. But through a lot of hard times, a so-called friend of mine who I knew, and he was like, dude, somebody stole my car. And I'm like, okay. And he says, but my brother saw it on his way to work. And could you help me steal it back? And he was doing lots of drugs, and he had a lot of drugs in the car, and I think that's why he didn't want to report it to the cops or something. He had some excuse, I don't know. But we went and I got the car back that night. I said, Ed, I think somebody was following me the whole time. I said, I don't want to park this in front of my apartment. He said, okay, no problem. My brother will drop me off in the morning and get it. And they put like house paint. Somebody had followed us, and they poured house paint, and they painted the whole inside of the car with house paint. Brand new car. And it was just like,
like you do, right? I mean, that's
like you would, just to say, dude, we stole your car and you stole it back, and we'll teach you. We're going to ruin it for you. So, I don't know. It was bad, but it's just things like that I was like, I was not hanging out with the right people in any shape or form. I was really walking in a lot of dangerous waters and a lot of very tempting waters. I mentioned the drugs and things like that, but really, I was on the verge. I was hanging out with this other guy who was a so-called record producer. And this guy was he was an older guy, but I found out that he liked younger men. And I found out a little late on this thing, but the thing about it was, but I was
too late.
And I wasn't eating well. It's like I didn't have any much money at the time. This was, even before the head shop days. But we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard one day, or maybe Sunset Boulevard, and he's walking, and I'm like sick. It's like I'm just sick, and my stomach was hurting, and I was like, I said, I don't remember the guy's name. I said, I gotta get back to the apartment. I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I said, I'm sick. I guess I'm my stomach virus. But I was all crunched over. And on the street, on the sidewalk, was this Bible, one of these little New Testaments that the Gideons hand out. And I would have never seen it had I been walking like this.
As usual.
As usual. My usual self. I was like this. And so it's like, okay. So I think things like that happen for reasons. I'm one of those guys that think it's like everything sort of works for a reason. Mm-hmm. But I took it home, but I didn't read it or anything. I just thought, hey, I found something. I got something for free today. This is a good day. And I put it on my shelf. I didn't look at it probably for a couple of years. But when I got to Hanna-Barbera, I met a guy there named Peter, and Peter was an artist who had also come in through that training program, and Pete was a Christian, and he had a good friend, and they had shared an apartment together, and Pete was just a good friend to me. He was just he didn't care that I didn't love God. He didn't care. He still loved me. Pete did. He wanted to hang out with me. We did music together. We did lots of things. And he didn't say, oh, I'm a Christian and you're not a Christian. I don't want to hang out with you. But for me, it's like, he was just a great guy, and this friend of his was a great guy. We did a lot of music together, played around stuff. And we worked at the studio together. He eventually worked at Disney, too, also with me. And those guys were just very influential and very encouraging to me at a time when I needed it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between like the false friends and the true friends. It sounds like there's so many people out there taking advantage.
Yes, I had, it was strange. And then I was dating a woman who was probably 10 years older than I was, And but she still lived with her parents. She was like in her 30s or something. But they had a big mansion down in Hollywood. It was like big, like the Beverly Hillbillies. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies place. And we thought we were there alone one night, and her parents were out in Palm Springs. But no, her dad came home. And yeah, he started punching me. But fortunately, the guy had a really lousy punch. It was really soft. You know, it was like a really soft punch. And it was like, but he almost knocked me over the top of the Beverly Hillbillies railing. You know, the big stairs that come down, you know, that big thing? And I almost went right, I was like, whoa! And I hung on, and I got out of the front of the house, I'm going to kill you! You know, and I heard sort of like, you know, I felt, So I'm sort of walking back to my apartment like, you know, I almost, you know, look at myself killed tonight. This is not good. And I guess I started praying a little bit, you know. It was just like, I don't want to die here. Yeah. You know? I don't want to die without my shoes. It's just like, I don't want to, I'm only like 19 years old. It's like, I don't want to die. Lord, I don't want to die. I don't want this guy to kill me. And I'm walking home thinking every car that came up was going to be him, you know. And part of it was maybe just a wild imagination, you know, I don't know. But I thought, you know, this guy's going to come up and run over me or shoot me or something. Because he said he was getting his gun right as I left the house. And so I just, you know, I didn't know. But I think it put a sort of a scare into me. So it was a bit of a wake-up call, yeah. But yeah, but after that encounter and the wake-up call, I just started reading the scriptures, and I just got this strange feeling overcame me. It's like, well, this could be true. And I said, you know what? I think it probably is true. And it sort of just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, what if this is true? Well, that would change everything, wouldn't it? You know, so that was sort of my approach to it. And then, I don't know, one night it was just one of those things where I just sort of felt very convicted of like the lifestyle I had led. Not so much, it was just my, you know, directionlessness, you know, and no real foundation to my life or what I purpose, you know. Mm-hmm. And even though I had a studio job by that time, there was, you know, there's a lot of emptiness and stuff. But I got on my motorcycle and I went up to Griffith Observatory. And if you know Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, it's like the big place. And, you know, James Dean's movie, Rebel Without a Cause, part of it was shot there. Yeah, and the city's down below Los Angeles. And you can see all the way to Los Angeles. Back then it was very smoggy, much more than it is today. But I just went up there and I just got on my knees and I prayed. And I just said, Lord, I think I'm screwing up my life really bad. And, you know, so if you would help me sort of straighten that out, and sort of just repented, and I was on my knees. This is a public place, you know, where they have the things you look through. You put you look through to see the city view, and I'm on my knees, and inside the planetarium, they're having a big show, and they're playing, I don't know, Flight of the Valkyries, or some kind of music was coming from inside. And the more I prayed and I was weeping, you know, it's like one of those typical repentant sort of guys, and the music was swelling in the background, and I just started laughing. It was just hilarious, you know, but I really felt a great burden lifted off of me that day. And